Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I had left you guys, let me start the right way. So I'm here for the second part of my labor and delivery story. If you have not watched my labor and delivery story part 1, I'm gonna try and link it down below so that you can catch up, so that this video can make sense for you. So let's just jump right into it before baby wakes up. So I had left you guys at now where we had said not to go to hospital. It was around 7:30. So we had already packed everything. We had put it in the car. We were just waiting for the go time. So we got into the car. The ride to the hospital was very tough. Like, guys, you do not want to be in labor and you're in a moving car, because the movement is just crazy. You feel like when you hit a bump, everything just gets worse, especially if you're going through a contraction. But for some reason, it really just distracted my mind. So on our way there, I felt like I didn't have as many contractions as I had been experiencing in the house. So I was like, okay. I started getting worried that maybe my labor was not progressing, because I don't know, I just felt like maybe I would get hospital and I'd be told, no, you're not yet there yet. So yeah, we went, and of course it was during the curfew time, so we had our letters ready in case we were stopped by the police. But good thing we didn't meet anyone along the way. We got to the hospital, and we had booked, you have to book first, right? So we had booked Princess Zara wing. So we checked in, we went there. Now here's the craziest thing, guys. I had wanted a home bath. I had told you guys that before. Now for the home bath, I would have had a water bath, kind of a bath. So I had really wanted to labor in water and and all that, but after now realizing that the cord was around baby's neck, we couldn't do that. So we went to the hospital way. So now at the hospital, we had already booked now the room and where we would labor from, and we had been told that the Princess Zara wing did not have a bathing pool, so I would have to just labor the normal way, which was a bummer for me, but I was like, you know what, it's fine. So when we got there, the first thing is they check you. That's standard. They have to check you to make sure you've progressed and they can take you in. So when we got there, they checked me, and people say that being checked is painful. It's okay. It's very uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable for me. Some women don't feel anything, but for me, I felt like it was very uncomfortable, especially because immediately after being checked, I would have a crazy contraction. It would be so crazy. It would be crazier than the others. So they checked me anyway, and at this point they told me that I was at 4. Imagine, from that time till that I had only dilated 1 centimeter. So they were like, you know what, this is still good. You're about to enter the second phase of labor, so there's no need for you to go home. Let's just check you in, because it's gonna happen tonight, and you don't want to again come all that way, be exposed to all that. So I was like, you know what, it's fine. Now, the crazy part is this: the room that we had taken the executive room. So they told us that all the executive rooms were booked. No, not booked, they had been taken. Apparently on that night, all the women who were to give birth around that date were giving birth. So our room was not available. So I was like, oh my god, okay, so now what next? So they told me that they would take me to the other side. There's Princess Zara, and there's the other side, so the other maternity wing. So they told me they would take me there. I would labor from there and probably even give birth. But after, or if during that period, the women, one lady or whoever, if a patient checked out of an executive wing room, they would call us and they would transfer us back to where we were supposed to be. So I was like, okay, you know what, just do what you have to do. I need to settle down and I need to start focusing, because I could tell I was starting to lose control. So they were like, okay, fine, let's take you. So they took us to the room. Now we enter this room, and first things first, I see a bathing pool, and I looked at my partner and I was like, oh my god. And I remember I was so happy. Before even I asked if I could use it, I was so excited. I remember I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe this. So I remember asking the nurse, so is this in use? And she was like, yeah, it is. So I asked her also, okay, so if I wanted to at some point, would it be okay if I used the bathing pool? And she was like, yes, just let me know. Even if you want to get in right now, just let me know. And I was like, oh my god, I was so happy. I was like, oh my god, this is what I wanted. And God works in so many ways, because I had been praying for it, I had been hoping for it, and here it was. So But of course, now first things first, they had to first check baby's heart rate, baby's fetal movement, of course, because of the cord. So they checked that, and everything was fine. And of course, now I continued laboring. This was maybe around 9. So I continued laboring. I asked for more pillows. The things that I did that helped me during my labor were first changing positions. I would get on all fours on the bed. I would swing. I really did a lot of I would really swing like this, or on all fours. I would also put a pillow in between my legs. That one was amazing. I would feel so good. I don't know why. It's such a strange thing, but every time I would put a pillow in between my legs, I would just feel really nice. So one thing, I thought I would be able to walk around during my labor, but for some reason walking around was just not doing it for me. So I was just like, you know what, I'd rather just continue with what I was doing. So I continued laboring. Around 11, I felt like, okay, I need a break, because at this point I had not slept very well the previous day, and now this day as well. So I was like, you know what, I need a break. So I remember calling the nurse and telling her, I need to get into the water. Maybe that will give me some relief or some break. Maybe I just need something different. So she was like, okay, fine. So she went ahead. She did everything. Like, she put the water, she checked the temperature, then she came, she helped me in, and guys, it was amazing. It was what I wanted. I remember I felt so much relief, and I was just like, the water really just soothed me so much. And craziest thing, the name that we gave our baby means it also has the meaning of a river goddess. So I was like, it's so amazing. So I continued laboring there, and I actually even blacked out. I slept. I don't know for how long, but I remember I slept, and I remember I woke up feeling so energized, and I was ready to now get it. I was like, okay, you know what? Let's do this now. So I continued laboring there, and after some time now, it stopped working. After some time, I was like, okay, you know what? This is not working anymore. I need to get out of this water. I need to lie down. So the nurse came back, she took me, she helped me out of the water. I went to use the washroom. By the way, when you're laboring, using the washroom is like, they're usually about to send the police with you, because they always fear that you can get in there and feel the urge to start pushing. So I remember the nurse even told me, don't close the door, please leave it open. I need you to just pee. If you feel like pooping, abort mission. So I went in, I peed, and then I came back out, and I started laboring, and now I think she could see, like, on my face that now the contractions had taken a crazier turn. Like, it was really intense. It would come, and the veins would come out of my face, and I was not making any. I remember I was not making any sound at this point, but she was like, we do have pain relief, or something to help you with your labor. So she told me about the epidural. She told me about the gas. She told me about something that they put in a drip, but you remember, I really didn't want any sort of medicalized laboring. So I really didn't want an epidural, because that would mean that I would probably not be able to move around so much. I also didn't want any kind of drip. So I was like, you know what, no thank you, I'm fine. Let me just continue taking it as it is. Then my partner was like, you know what, babe, how about you try the gas? Because you see, you don't know how long you're going to be laboring for. We've already been in this state for a while. I think now we had already hit 24 hours. And so he was like, you know what, how about you just try it out? So I was like, okay, not fine. Let me not, when you're learning hypnobirthing, they tell you to also listen to your birthing partner. So they say that there's an affirmation that says, I'm making the right decisions for myself, for my birthing partner, and for my baby. So I remember at that point I was like, okay, you know what, let me also listen to him, because he was the one seeing everything from, I don't know what to call it, he was not experiencing it, and he could see it like from his own point of view, and he could see how I was doing, and he was talking to the doctor all this time. So I was like, okay, fine. So they brought the gas, and they showed me how to use it. So you're supposed to use it during the contraction. So you're supposed to breathe in, to put the thing in your mouth, and then you breathe in during the contraction, and then you breathe out. And I tried it, and it made me feel drowsy. It made me feel, I don't know, I just felt like I was pumped up on meds. And then immediately after that, I threw up. I mean, it made me sick. It just made me feel so sick to my stomach. I threw up, and I was like, you know what? This is not going to work for me. I just can't, you know. And she was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave it here. Just try it. In case you need it, it's there for you. So I was like, okay, you know what? Fine. I wouldn't start arguing, and I was like, okay, thank you so much, because she was actually really being sweet. She was so concerned. Yeah, so I continued laboring, and I remember during this time, like,
how you feeling?
the pain was at a what? Let's say at a 7, 8 there. So it was not easy, but also it was not too bad. It was not too bad, yeah. So I continued. Then it got to a point now. I remember when I was laboring, I looked up and I saw my doctor. So my doctor she's a private doctor, so she was not in Aga Khan the whole time. Like you have to go, they check you, then they call the doctor when you're almost, yeah. So she came and she was like, oh hi, I asked her, what are you doing here? You've come so early. She was like, oh yeah, I just wanted to come and just make sure you're fine. And I was so touched, guys, as in my doctor, she's called Dr. Elizabeth, and she was amazing. She was, I don't know, I think, like, let me tell you something. From the day I found out I was pregnant, I started praying, and I would always pray for an easy birth, a natural vaginal birth. I would pray for God to guide the staff who would be with me on that day, the doctors, the nurses. Like, I started praying from that time. I prayed that my baby would be fine. I prayed that my birthing partner would be, physically present and mentally prepared. I prayed that my body would be able to, take these contractions. And for sure, prayers work, because I was treated so well. As in, guys, Aga Khan is amazing, and I loved every single step. There's no point I can say I was treated in any way. There's no experience I would say I had a negative experience. It was top notch. It was amazing. So the doctor was there. She was like, I'm just here to work with you. And I was like, oh my God, it's so sweet, And so, yeah, so because she told me, you know what, that time it was around like, let's say 12:30 there, 12:31. So she was like, you know what, I want to help your labor move faster, because you've been doing this for a long time. So what I want to do is that I want us to break your waters. So apparently when they break your water, like the amniotic, like the amniotic fluid that holds the baby in place, apparently when they break it, it tends to fasten things up. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So she checked how far along I was. I was at 7. Yeah, I was at a 7. So she was like, wow, you're actually at a 7, so this is gonna work like crazy. So, we're gonna give it maybe 2 hours or, 3 hours there. So I was like, okay, fine, let's do this. So she checked, then she did it. It felt so weird, like, it felt like something wet and hot just came out of me, So she did it, and then she was like, okay, what, fine, you continue laboring. I'm gonna go, I want to transfer you to a different delivery room, because she was just like, I don't want us to birth here, because you obviously won't be doing a water bath. You labored in it, but you won't birth in it. So I was like, okay, fine. So I continued laboring. So sorry, I'm checking baby. So around 30 minutes into it, something changed. I remember I sat up and I told my partner, no, something has changed. The contractions were not the same anymore. This was now on the next level. I could feel myself going out of breath when a contraction would come. It was so intense. It would come, and I could not breathe. I would lose, So I remember telling my partner, you need to call doc, because something has changed. Just call her right now, call. So we pressed the thing for the nurse, so that the nurse would come. So she came, she was like, what's up? I told her, we need to go. So she was like, actually, I'm actually here for you. So she put me on a wheelchair, then we went. She offered a wheelchair. I said, no, let me just walk. So we walked slowly. A contraction would come, I would stop, and just it would take my breath away. This one was crazy. Like, if anything, this is a part of labor that was the toughest for me. This one was madness. Yeah, if I don't know. So I remember when we got into the room, I found Doc there, and I told her, listen, I don't know what's going on, but something is happening. So she was like, okay, you know what, maybe, the contraction have changed, maybe you're further along than you are. So she showed me the bed. I went there, I lied down there, and I remember telling my partner, I need you to hold my hand. At this point now, I was holding him like my life depended on it, and like a contraction would come and I would pull him. I would pull him and I would face, and I'd be like, at this point I was definitely making noises. Like, I would be like, oh my god, and I would, like, I remember I was cursing. It was at this point now, I was just, I could feel myself losing control. And I remember my partner now, I think at this point now, it also clicked for him. Now was the time I needed him the most. So at this point, he also upped his game immediately. I remember immediately now, he was there, he was telling me, you can do this, don't worry. He was telling me, breathe. Like, he was, guys, if I don't know, I really thank God. Hi baby, it's okay. Hi guys. So yeah, I'm back. So yeah, I remember at this point now, my partner also, he was just really, like, he upped his game. He was there for me. He was rubbing my back. He was telling me, you can do this, breathe through it. We're almost there. We're almost done. Just, keep pushing. And it was just, that gave me so much strength. That made me feel so supported and loved. And I was like, okay, you know what? Yeah, we can do this. And I kept pushing through it, and I remember now at this point, I told the doc, okay, you know what? You need to check what's going on, because I feel like I'm ready. I feel like I'm about to pop, and I remember what I was feeling at this point was the intensity, and leave alone the contraction. The contractions were really different. They were more intense for some reason. Sorry, I have someone who's joined me here. They were so intense. They were in as much as they were intense, I was also feeling the urge to just push. I was feeling like I wanted to poop at this point. I remember I kept telling the doctor, I need to go poop. Yeah. So I was like, no, this is becoming crazy. Yeah. And I kept telling the doc, I feel like pushing right now. I feel like pooping. So the doc was like, what, really? That was so fast. I think it was less than 30 minutes, because it was like, and remember, we had just checked, I was at 7. So there's no way anybody thought that at this point I would be at 10 centimeters. So the doctor was like, okay, just take it easy, just hold on. But then I just kept insisting, you know what, we need to check right now. We need to just check, because I was feeling, it was just, I felt like I was just losing control of my breathing. At this point, I was not being able to breathe through it. And okay, so the doctor was like, okay, no, that's fine. So they were really trying to rush. You remember, considering the fact that they didn't think I was there yet, like, they had not even put the drip on. Apparently they always have to put a drip on before like you start pushing, so that in case of anything, like, they can do a blood transfusion, they can give you antibiotics, like, anything. So they were really trying to rush through this small things. So that's why I was being told not to push. So during this time now, they put in the drip. The nurse came in, the pediatrician came in. Hold on. The pediatrician came in. So everyone now was ready, and it was a go. So now she went in, she checked, she was like, oh my goodness, I can see the head. And I was like, what? I was so excited. I couldn't believe it, because it had been such a short time. I remember her being so shocked that she called my partner and she was like, come see. And he went there and he checked. And he was like, oh my god, yes, I can see the hair. And oh my goodness, like, at that moment I was just like, thank goodness, let's do this. I kept telling them, the doctor kept telling me, you look like you don't believe us. And I was like, at this point, it's not about believing, I just want to push. That's all I'm feeling like. So she's like, okay, you know what, you can start pushing. So I started pushing. Guys, let me tell you, if there's one thing that is crazy hard, for me it was really challenging. I wouldn't say not hard, but it was really, really challenging, was pushing. So they tell you that you're supposed to push in a certain way, so you're not supposed to make a sound. That's one. Then the second thing is that now, like, your birthing partner or a nurse or anyone comes and holds you over here, yeah. So they're supposed to lift your head, and then you, the person who's pushing, they're supposed to hold your legs, like right below your knee. So you're holding your knees like this, and you're lifting your head. Then you push, yeah. So at this point, I'm already grunting, because you remember I kept saying that I felt like pooping. So I was making the craziest sound. I was like, you know, like, because that's the only sound you can make, so that you can feel that, like, some sort of relief, because you just feel like everything is coming out. Yeah. So she'd be like, okay, wait for the contraction, then you start pushing. So I remember I would keep telling them, it's coming, you know. And it was so funny, because like, obviously I was the one to push, so I was telling them it's coming, as if they were the ones who were going to be pushing. And I remember the doctor kept telling me, you don't have to tell us, just do it. And I'd be like, no, I want you guys to know it's coming. So I started shouting, it's coming. Then I push. It was, let me tell you, like, you push until you wonder, like, are you going to, I thought I was going to burst a vein because of how hard you push. Then you know, like, you're looking for all the strength, and at this point you've been laboring. Obviously, of course, you're tired. You know, it's not like you're just somewhere chilling. So you're already so tired, and now you're being told, okay, you know what, you need to get in there and now use all that strength. I was like, oh my goodness, okay. Then the doc is like, you know what, Cynthia, you need to push. You don't want baby to be tired, and then we have to get in there and maybe use vacuum. I'm telling you, the minute she just told me that me not pushing hard enough would affect baby, I was like, let me show you guys how to push. I did it so hard. I remember pushing so hard, and even the doc now came in and helped me. So she pushed my leg up. I don't know, apparently that helped me in some way, because I remember her pushing, like, it's like she was swinging with my leg. She pushed my leg in, like my right leg. So she pushed it in, and I was also pushing. I'm like, you know, and just like that, I felt relief. Like, I felt all of a sudden as if something had just, poof, you know, like something just dropped out of me, and I felt empty. That's the word. I felt empty, and I felt hot. Like, I felt hot and wet, and it's such a weird feeling. And I remember everyone being like, oh my god. And guys, just like that, my baby girl was born, and she was here with us, and it was just the most magical, beautiful moment ever. And I remember I looked down, and I could see the doctor holding her, and I just could not believe it. I was in shock. I remember turning to my partner, and he kissed me, and I was like, she's here. You know, like, I could not believe it. It was the most amazing moment in my life so far. And like, I don't know, I wish I captured that moment, because like, it was just, I can't even, there are no words to explain it. Yeah. So after that, now she was not crying for some reason. She's just the type of baby who did not cry when they were born. So I remember the pediatrician was like, okay, let me just check her real quick. So she checked her, and even still then, she was still not crying. Like, she checked her, and she checked her, and she was like, okay, you know what, here, you guys hold her. And my partner took her, and he came with her next to me, and I'm gonna attach a photo of the first time when I was actually meeting her for the first time. And I remember looking at her, and I could not believe that, like, I had just birthed a whole human being. I just couldn't believe it, you know. So yeah, so after that, now we cuddled there. We just kept spending time with her. During this time now, after the baby is out, so they start pressing your stomach to remove the placenta, and that for me was so uncomfortable. I did not enjoy that one bit. I don't know why it's so uncomfortable, considering the fact that you've just birthed a whole human being, and they're only pressing your stomach, which is not like, I don't know, maybe it's the contractions, or your stomach muscles are tired, but it was not a pleasant feeling at all. So I remember she pressed my stomach for a while before it, and I remember when she was pressing, I could feel wetness coming out. I could feel I think it's blood, or I don't know what it is, whatever is in the uterus now after all after the baby's out. So she pressed it. She told me it's I must they do that so that they make sure that you do not bleed after. So she pressed it. Okay, not bleed, you don't you don't bleed too much. There's a word for it, I know I won't remember it, but yeah, so that's why they pressed it. So she pressed it. Then after that, now she went in and stitched me because she had to give me an episiotomy. Yeah, so she stitched me and, you know, made sure everything was fine. She called my partner to check and just confirm that everything was fine. And yeah, so after that everything was done. I remember though, one thing that happened that was really strange. Just after now, like when I was being stitched, a lady walked in and she was dressed in, you know, when you watch TV how the COVID-19 officers are dressed, like with the gear and all that. She came in and told me that it was mandatory to get a test done, a COVID-19 test done. And I was like, really? Like, you couldn't wait for me to just go to my room, you know, chill a bit, and then you come and tell me this? And, you know, imagine they took the test right there when I was still on the birthing table. I was like, come on guys. As in, yeah, anyway, they took the test and it was really quick actually, and it was uncomfortable, but yeah, that's something that happened in the delivery room. Yeah, so they did it and they left. So, and then a nurse came, she helped me out of the bed, and, you know, she told me, okay, let's go, I take you to your room. Yeah, and that was it, guys. As in, I could not believe that I had done it, and I was just so amazed. I'm gonna do a separate video and talk about things that helped me maybe go through my labor and delivery the way I did, because I feel like it was the most amazing thing. As in, I could do it all over again. I totally had a positive experience, so I really thank God for that, you know. Yeah, so guys, my beautiful baby girl was born, and I was so in love, and I couldn't believe that the journey was done, and I was gonna start the new journey of being a mother to my beautiful baby. She's called Yara, and I am just, guys, I am obsessed. I am obsessed with her. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna end this video here. It's been such an amazing feeling just documenting this, because I know I'll always come back to it and watch it. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, stay tuned for the next video. I don't know what time it's gonna be, but we're done with the pregnancy, guys. We're done. Yeah, so have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening. Yeah, and take care. Bye bye.